What is up? Welcome to Kentucky Talk Sports. Happy Friday to you. You've got AT, yours truly, in the house with Mark Burnett, riding shotgun as always.
I gotta come up with a nickname or something. You
The
got
MB.
AT, MB, just the big M.
You're the Joe L. MB.
There you go, brother.
Not the
right.
Meade.
I'll let you nickname me. You know what I'm
you-
saying?
Well, we'll let the fans nickname.
All right, that's what we have to do. That's what we have to do. What do you want me to be called?
Yeah.
And
They're gonna-
I will filter that though.
I was going to say they're going to call me BLT or something. I don't know how I feel.
Hey, our other show, we were going to call it, what was it called? Steve and Two Fat Guys.
Yeah, the McRib. This McRib, you don't have to wait, once every 9 months. But anyway, but hey, good to have you. I mean,
Yeah.
the weather outside's
Great to
frightful.
be here, man.
When I was walking in here, I
Is
saw
it pouring now?
Dude, have you ever seen? Do you remember the Ghost of Mr. Chicken?
No.
Don Knotts.
Oh yeah.
Back in the day,
Oh,
of course, yeah.
absolutely, yeah. Like that's like 1968.
Oh yeah, but I mean, of course, I wasn't born then, but I watched the movie when I was a
Yeah.
kid. But there's, he was always spooked, just like in the Andy Griffith Show. He was
Yeah.
always
Oh,
spooked.
yeah.
But Don Knotts was walking through his house and there's a lightning flash. I don't know why, but I felt like Don Knotts walking in there because the lightning felt like it was literally on my shoulder, like in my face. And then the thunder rumbled. But yeah, it started pouring a little bit driving through about the Otter Creek Dell Valley area.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, when we got here, it not quite. It spit a little bit, but it was dark all around,
Yeah.
man. So we thought, man, it's going to hit. But I guess it hit while we were in. So.
It hit me.
Yeah.
You got in before I did.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm glad you made it in, man.
I'm glad I'm here too. Thanks again to Kat for over there riding with us and running the board too. Never want to leave her out of the mix there.
Yeah.
So listen, big news. Here we go. Big news for Big Blue Nation. This is the one I've been waiting for to drop. We actually talked about this the last few weeks that we thought maybe he would go until the deadline. I'm glad he didn't. Otega Owe has announced he's pulled his name out of the draft and he's come back to Big Blue Nation. And I love this.
Awesome, dude.
And I just want to say this real quick. He says, "This year exceeded all my expectations. Through the highs and all the lows, I found a family in Kentucky forever." I love this guy. I think he's set up to have a huge year. And I think Mark Pope can't be any more excited in his press conference.
I agree, man. I mean, but Mark Pope makes this, man. I mean, if you look back on where we were a year ago, or a year or so ago, we were not getting, we didn't know where we were going to be.
I really didn't have anybody.
And it's like we had nobody on the roster. We had nobody on the roster. Mark Pope comes in, hits the ground running, gives us not just a transition team, but a team who can compete in year one. And then what happens is, now he's on year two. He got 4 of the guys that come back.
Yep.
And then now he's got 10 new guys. There's like 4. I think there's 14 guys on the roster right now.
I think there's and room for one more. I think.
Yeah.
I saw the silhouette. There's like a silhouette.
Yeah,
of one
because
block
15
left.
is the number
Yeah,
now. 15 total roster positions, and then we have to just. I don't know how they work out the. Did the NCAA go ahead? Did you find? Did you
I
see
did
anything?
not, but I
we
did
need
see.
to find out if they actually because they had to change the rule to allow 15
That's
scholarships.
Right. I did, and that's what I was about to say. I'm not sure if that's a scholarship player or a walk-on player, but I do know that they're allowed 15, and they do have one spot open.
Yeah,
They might be saving
15 rosters is all spots is all you get. Everything else is trainers and such. Right.
And if you're out there and you feel limber, give Mark Pope a call. Maybe, maybe he'll, fill that void.
Is
with
he
you.
done? That's the question. Is he done?
I don't think he is.
I don't think he ever is.
And I don't think the listeners are either. I think they got another game in them.
Yeah.
Win one for the Gipper.
Yeah.
Go get that last roster spot. But anyway, Otega Owe coming back, odds-on favorite to be UK's offensive counterpiece or centerpiece. Let me tell you something. Here's some stats I pulled up about this. He scored 16.2 points per game last year, which is great, obviously, in a 40-minute game. But also, he scored in double figures 33 out of 36
times. Yeah, I remember the game. It was like one of the games we lost, and he only scored like maybe 6 points or something like that in that game.
Yeah.
It was like late before he actually got anything, but they the teams that started focusing on him, on shutting him down, but then he most of the time he was in that 12 to 18 point range.
Yeah,
man.
because he's a
every
bucket.
time.
I mean, the guy, like I said, it's hard. Kobe Bryant and all those guys, they could get to the bucket or get to a shot, through screens and everything
Yeah.
else. But Oweh, man, he could put the ball on the floor and go get a bucket when you need a bucket.
He's not a super big guard, but he's got power. He's got some
Quickness.
hops. He's quick.
I think he's quicker than people think he is too. I think he's kind of
and a bit savvy.
Yeah, savvy.
Savvy. Yeah.
Can finish contact at the rim, or through contact at the rim. Here's another little nugget. So 26 consecutive games with 10 plus points. That's the longest streak by a Wildcat since Malik Monk posted 30 in a row in 2016.
Yeah, I mean,
just another guy.
That's a guy that was on fire. Now, I would say this: Malik Monk. I don't think he was the defensive guy that Oweh
Oh no,
is.
probably not. Oweh is very good
but
defensive.
Malik Monk was definitely a scorer from every angle, right?
Yeah.
I rewatched one of the games when he played probably just a couple of nights ago. It came up on YouTube or something. I popped it on to see it, and it just reminds me of just the swagger that guy had. To put it in your face like that, to put just get up and shoot over somebody or in front of somebody. He was fearless, man.
Yeah, really, really
So,
good.
always same.
Yeah, always. And also, he was our leading scorer 16 times. I didn't put it in here, but actually that was double of any other player. Kobe Bryant led the team in scoring 8 times. So,
Yeah.
Oweh, again, huge offensive centerpiece coming back for us. And I think it's kind of cool that, you mentioned Mark Pope, and I was going to get to that too, that the attitude of team, I think, has changed. And again, I know it seems like we just take a dump on John Calipari, but I just don't feel like there was the love of. There may have been a love of basketball. There may have been a love for winning. There may be a love for competing. But was there a love for competing in that UK jersey? And I don't know about that. I really don't. I don't know if it ran as deep. I think, too, if you're just around somebody like Mark Pope that has the stories and Rick Pitino comes in and talks to the team and you get that, kind of flashback of the greatness, it's probably just, it's hard not to get, that stuff to rub off on you and say, okay, let's run through a wall for this guy.
Hey, by the way, I want to give our number out. 270-980-9670. And if you want to give us a call, and we'll put you on the air with us if you have a question, and we'd love to hear from you. So, but you were saying that with Mark Pope, and you were talking about the jersey. I mean, the man showed up with his number 41 captain's jersey, from
the Midnight Madness
1996,
or Blue
man.
What do they call it now?
Well, I mean, he showed up. I think he showed up the day they hired him.
Oh, was it? Okay, I thought it was
when he came in.
Like stripped down like out of his game, his warm, his jumper.
I saw something the other day. It showed 15. It showed 15 players on the Kentucky, Kentucky
Pope
roster,
on it.
and it Pope in the center. I was like,
hilarious.
It was his 1996 shot, so he looked like he belonged. He
Yeah,
didn't have no wrinkles or anything. He was a young man. But he's what makes it special.
Yeah, I
Because
think
he
he is.
believes in the Kentucky effect.
Yeah.
He believes in playing for the jersey, and he instills that in these guys. Even these guys that are transferring in, and I think that the ones that we're probably missing out on are ones that he's maybe he can't convince them of that.
Yeah.
And I think that he's getting his guys. These are guys he feels he can work with.
And just another thing too. I don't mean to cut you off. To add to that, I think too. I'm not saying that the one and done guys aren't coachable, but I will say that the guys that are 2, 3, 4 year players, I'm sure they're at least looking for more coaching. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
they're wanting to build something.
Yeah, I mean, when Anthony Davis comes out, and the only reason he's coming to college is because he wasn't allowed to go straight to the pros. It's just I don't know if he's as hungry for being coached as someone like Colin Chandler or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but the question is
and I'm not saying that Anthony Davis wasn't coachable. I'm just saying
I think he was very coachable.
Yeah, of course.
And I think that I wonder and kind of I look back and thinking, okay, what if Mark Pope had Anthony Davis.
No.
And I think that Anthony Davis could have been better
Yeah, well,
in
his
college.
assist numbers would have probably definitely went up.
Oh my gosh! I mean, that system would have been huge if we had those players with Mark Pope as the coach. Again, I'm not saying that John Calipari couldn't coach. I'm saying that I think that Mark Pope has proven to me that he's got. It's not just a scheme, a one-trick scheme.
That's right.
He is willing to take and mold the and play different styles of ball based on who he's got on the court.
Even if he doesn't like that style of ball.
Even if he doesn't like that style of ball.
That's right.
John Calipari is not. He's not that guy. He's going to play one style. He's going whatever his style at the moment is. Now his style does change, but his style has changed over the years. But it's that we're going to do this. We're only going to play man-to-man defense. I don't think he knows a lick about how to coach zone defense. I don't think he knows how to coach it. I don't know if he knows how to coach against it.
Yeah.
To tell you the truth, because he doesn't like it enough, and so I think that's why we struggled against zone defenses so often under his tutelage.
Well, yeah, because if you can't get your starting five to run a zone defense, how you get them your second string and third string in practice to guard your first string in zone defense? You know what I'm saying?
And so how do you prepare for that if you can't play it well yourself?
Yeah. So it's like playing Lamar Jackson. I remember someone saying. Preparing to play Lamar Jackson. I can't remember who it was. They were about to play somebody, and they said, "How are you preparing for Lamar Jackson?" He was like, "Well, we got our third string guy who runs I think he was like a wide receiver or something, and that's who they put in to play quarterback because he was fast."
Yeah.
And he's like, "That's our best emulation of what we're going to see, when Lamar Jackson steps on the floor." So it's the same thing. If you can't play zone defense, how you how do you practice against it?
It's hard. It's going to be very difficult. So,
but yeah, I love Mark Pope. I love the fact that I think this is a guy too that it feels like he could be here for a long, long time. I know everything changes and things like that, but this is kind of like the cream of the crop.
Right?
I don't think, but I'm just saying, like even like a promotion, like where do you go from here? Like the NBA, it's like John Calipari going to Arkansas. A lot of people were like, that's not a step up move. You're taking on a smaller program, at least not it's an SEC school, but it's not a basketball school like Kentucky is, even though they're a great basketball team. I'm not saying that, but it's not Kentucky basketball. So, I mean, his move was more adjacent than it was a promotion. And Mark Pope probably thinks he's like in, paradise right now.
Oh, yeah.
So, where's he going to go?
Yeah, I mean, it's and there's not too many programs. Most of the time, our coaches leave and they end up going to,
well, I would say we don't really have a lot of coaches leave anyway.
We don't have a lot of coaches leave. I mean, it's true. I mean, I'm looking back, really, only Rick Pitino went to the pros.
Tubby was fired.
Tubby was fired. Let's see. Rupp retired.
Yeah.
Ball retired.
Sutton was fired.
Sutton was fired.
Jeez. I mean, yeah.
Pitino went to the pros.
You're in this forever.
It's
a blood covenant.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
it's a blue blood covenant.
It is. So it's like, and then you had Tubby Smith who left. Now Tubby left. He was not fired.
I think Ashley Judd left. Where's Ashley Judd been?
I mean,
I know she's had some problems, but my God,
I don't
get out there and show some support.
she decided to go too much into politics rather than into sports. So
I was trying to think of people who's left us. I had to reach into the Ashley Judd bag.
So then after that's Gillespie. Gillespie obviously was famously fired after a year and a half or 2 years. What is it? 2 years he was there?
He wasn't the only one drinking during that time because it was hard to watch.
And then of course you got Calipari.
Yeah, we talked about that though because Darius Miller was a part of that Gillespie team.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And so that was.
And then he got to cap it off with the championship.
Yeah. So yeah, I loved Darius Miller as a player. He was one of the he was one of my favorite players in that.
And did you get to meet Darius Miller when he came to the mall? Were you able?
Was he? He didn't come to the mall with Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
Was he there? Okay, so yeah.
Yeah, Darius Miller, Anthony Davis, Terrence Jones.
We met Anthony Davis. Was Darius Miller there? Captain was with us, so
There was one more too.
Yeah, I only
you were
remember.
there, right? You were there.
Yeah, oh no, I was
you-
there.
you
Yeah,
were-
no,
you were- you
I
were-
know. We met him because my son's got a picture with him.
Yeah.
In,
And we have it too. We have
Just
Anthony
Anthony
Davis.
Davis.
I don't think had Darius. I don't think we got.
it was Darius Miller, Terrence Jones. There was some white guy there that he was there for. He might have been their driver, but he was signing autographs. And then there was who's the point guard? Marcus Teague. Yeah, he was there, and because they did two different days.
We just did the one
with
just
Anthony Davis there. Okay, I think I know what you mean now.
Yeah, that's why we didn't
Yes,
see all
'cause
the
Anthony
others, 'cause
Davis was
I only
different.
remember Anthony Davis.
I got to walk Anthony Davis to the stage, and I'd never been like next to someone who was that tall. It was intimidating, even though I probably always have weighed more than Anthony Davis does, but I definitely probably weighed more than him then, and but yet he was so tall, and I remember going like I felt like a sixth grader or something, walking this massive man out there. But anyway, speaking of Anthony Davis, he spoke out on the NIL. Did you see this with Sports
No, I
Illustrated?
didn't see that.
So he sat down with Sports Illustrated. He did like a 25-minute interview. He talked great about John Calipari, of course. He also talked great about Mark Pope and the vision for Kentucky. I didn't realize that he was such an ambassador for Kentucky. He actually comes back and he does a lot of charity events around Lexington, and he loves it. And he says that outside of Chicago, Lexington is his home. He has a lot of connections still there. So I didn't realize that. As a fan, I didn't realize he was still so in touch with Kentucky basketball. But anyway, he spoke out on the NIL, and it's kind of something I thought it rang true for us as well because we kind of feel the same way. But Anthony Davis sitting down with Sports Illustrated said the NIL has made it tough. Obviously, they didn't have that when I was in college. It kind of takes away from the game a little bit because, and I'm not hating, he says, it just takes away from the integrity in the sense of players are only going to certain schools because of the money.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's kind of a no-brainer. I mean, that is what it's happening. It's
It
becoming
is.
a bidding war when it's always kind of been the quote-unquote bidding war. Now it truly is. We're
Well,
pulling
yeah,
out the
and I mean,
Amex.
and you're seeing this with in both college and basketball. You're seeing that it's ruining. It's putting so much pressure on a player on the players around them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because now you're coming in and saying, hey, I'm a $4 million to come play for your school. Well, they're gonna. I'm happy to see them say no.
Yeah. But in
it's
that,
like,
don't you
I
think
mean,
a coach goes, well, I need to see $4 million worth of
Well,
results?
I mean, that's the thing. It's
That's a
like
lot of pressure
if
for a
you're gonna-
17-year-old
if
kid,
it's really going to be negotiated that way for college,
Mhm.
then they've got to start putting restriction on them moving.
Yeah.
If you're going to sign a contract, then you're going to be there. You got to be there for 30 years. All right.
It's the same thing, though.
You got to do it that way.
The devil's advocate, though, I think the only reason this has come full. I mean, you see this in politics, you see this in everything. Everybody's got to have a fair playing field. It ain't fair. It's not fair. Life ain't fair. Blah blah blah. So let's make it fair. The reason this has come to this conclusion of the NIL, in my opinion, is that coaches have the ability to move whenever they want to move. So you have
But they
these
don't.
guys. I'm just saying they do
They
have.
have a contract.
They have a contract, but they can
And there's a
buy
buyout.
themselves out of it. They can do all that.
But that
and
doesn't.
move.
But the buyout keeps it from being free.
I get it, but do you
So
understand what
now,
I'm saying?
but it's the same point. If your kid wants to leave, then now you have to put a buyout in these contracts.
Well, that's
for them
true.
to
Now
be
you
here
can do that,
to
yeah.
say if you want to leave, because if a coach comes and says, "Hey, I don't want to be here anymore," right? And he says, "I quit." Well, he can't go play. He can't go anywhere else.
No.
He can't go. I can fire him. I can resign. And he can resign. Or I can fire him, but he's still obligated to his contract. And if I don't want to give up that money, if I'm okay to pay him the money in that contract, then he can't go anywhere else. He'll sit on the sideline.
I know we've seen several instances, and I wish I'd kind of pulled them up just to kind of show just how often it does happen, though. I mean, you can go back.
It
the last
does.
20
It
years.
does. I'm just saying that there's contract language.
I mean, even in the NFL, Bobby Petrino left, notes in lockers and left the next day. Like, he was out of Atlanta.
Yeah.
That's how he left his NFL job, and I'm sure he had a contract there.
Yeah,
These
but his
guys
contract,
do-
there is a piece there because his contract would not prevent him from going back to college, which is what he did.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and I'm just saying,
if you're making
leaving
the
for
jump to
anything.
the pros,
Yeah.
the college contracts and things don't usually there's no, I could quit and go to a pro,
I just
or I
know-
go from a pro to a college because it's two separate entities. I just can't go to another pro game.
I understand,
program.
and I'm just
Or to
saying, like,
another college program.
I've heard so many examples of you sat in my living room and you told my kid you would be there for 4 years,
Yeah.
and then he gets there and now you're gone. I just think that has a way in.
But that's the coach.
I get
the
it,
coach.
yeah.
That's
So they want to give the players that much power too.
I don't know, but I'm just trying to tell you, the coaches don't have as much power there. They only have as much power as the school will let them have, right? Because if I want to
Well,
pay
I guess
you,
it's the same thing for students too.
it's not. It's not because they're not getting paid by the colleges. They're getting paid by NIL.
Yeah.
Right, so that it's not
Has
locking
nothing to
them
do with
in.
it. Not locking
We as fans are ultimately the fans are ones paying for them. We're paying through these different collectives and things like that.
Memorabilia.
And so what we have to
That
do
works.
is now we have to figure out, okay, how do we instead of spitting all over my screen?
Passion.
What we have to do is we have to figure that out. If you want to treat it like a business, you want to
Yeah.
come in. I don't want to hear you whine about the fact that my
Oh,
coach is not gonna
absolutely.
be
I
there.
agree.
You're
Yeah.
getting
Oh,
paid.
yeah.
You're getting paid.
Yeah.
You got to grow up, son, and get ready. You got to get
The games to win.
Yeah, it's right.
Yeah.
So I'm okay I'm okay with paying you, but when you get paid, I don't want to hear you whining.
That's right.
Get
Yeah.
your butt out on the floor and play ball.
Yeah.
Go learn as much as you can.
And learning's not even important to me.
Yeah.
You can be dumb as a box of rocks.
You
as
can
long
go.
as you catch a hoop.
Go whine. You can go whine all you want to that guy.
Yeah.
Don't come to me if I'm paying your paycheck.
And that
So,
guy is
that's
homeless. guy
from
outside the stadium.
That's what back in the draft day. Remember draft
That's
day?
right, yeah, yeah.
He goes, did you mess up my office? Yeah, I was upset.
Yeah.
He goes, I don't
I
care.
don't care.
He says, I got a job to do. You know?
And that's the thing is, and I understand that. I'm just saying, I just always felt that way because you would hear all these stories about, moms getting upset and saying, you promised my baby this and that and blah, blah, blah. You told him, you'd be a father figure to
That's out
him.
the
And,
window now, dude.
oh, I get it. I'm just saying now, I just feel like,
Them same families have been trying to tell
You do
them
have to-
get your money.
let me just circle back around too, though, that I totally agree with you. I believe they should have
Yeah.
some type of restriction of the jumping. You shouldn't be able to just hop, skip, and jump.
Go back to
anytime
the
that
year
you
sit.
want. Yeah, absolutely.
Don't make them ineligible though. I would say make them sit, right? Go to another school for another year, but then let them keep that year of eligibility.
Okay.
Almost like a red shirt, like a.
Now, would you
almost like a
allow them
gray
to
shirt or something.
practice and do stuff like that, or they got to sit out of football activities? Period.
Oh man, that's a good question. That's a good question.
Well,
I would say
you are
say-
punishing the kid if you're taking him out of football.
I mean, because
Absolutely.
if so, here's the way I would look at it. If the team wants them, and then we're gonna kind of figure this out while we're sitting
Yeah,
there, right?
and then we're going to call the NCAA.
And say,
say,
this is
"Listen,
the way you got to
this
do
is
it.
the way you
Go
gotta
do it.
Stupid.
We got it all figured out on our show. You need to just fess
It
up.
took us 45 minutes.
Yeah, we spent and 30 minutes of that was lunch break. No, what it was is so what I'm thinking is something like I've totally lost my train of thought. But I'm thinking along the lines of if you have if a school wants to take on this transfer and that kid's gonna have to sit out. They're already, it's already, you have to count that against your scholarship limits and against all your limits, and if there's any NIL limits or anything like that kid has to be counted against that. And then therefore you can't walk him on, you can't do anything with him, you can't hide him in your roster. He has to take up a roster spot, and he's going to sit, so you can't fill that spot. I think that's how you have to start handling, because the team that wants him has to have a piece of has to have a little pain. The kid has to sit out a year from other activities. Maybe you let him practice, or at least get the workouts and stuff in. I don't want to ruin his career because he wanted to move. But then you have to also limit the number of times he can move. He
Well,
can
and
only
also
move-
you got to look at the fact that the school is also making the investment. Now they got to let him sit out of football.
Right, so that's
eat
going to
Doritos
so
or
at least
he's gonna
at
do.
least from the school that wants you to come here.
Yeah.
Now you have to really want that kid. You're not going to get him for a year.
Yeah.
And so, and you let him sit out. If he doesn't want to waste a year of eligibility, or if he doesn't want to waste a year of college or whatever, I don't care if he even goes to college and why he's sitting that year out.
Yeah.
He can sit out and play Scott Padgett. You remember Scott Padgett? He sit out a year because he fell out.
Yeah.
And then he came back and he busted his butt, came back and helped win a championship.
Big shots.
Yeah, and so.
I think he's a preacher now or something.
Is he?
Is it Cameron Mills?
Cameron Mills is, but I don't know if Scott Padgett is. I mean, he could be. I don't know. I haven't seen anything from him forever. But
Hopefully he knows Jesus.
Hopefully. Amen.
I know Cameron Mills does.
Yeah.
But anyway.
So he is. But yeah, you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we have to just kind of like sit down and say, okay, how do we limit a team wanting you?
Yeah.
And so think about this in basketball. Football, they still have room to hide because they have like 85 scholarships or something like that limits, right? So that's a ton. And that's like 4 teams almost.
I don't know.
Or no, it's almost 18.
I didn't even know that was that many.
Yeah, I think it's 85 scholarships they can have on their team. I don't know if they have roster spots, because I know that like if you watch old movies of like Rudy and stuff, they have like they can have like 100 kids or something like that, but only 85 can dress.
Yeah. The rest are extras.
Yeah, the rest are they're practicing SWAT guys.
Extras.
And yeah. So but 85 is a lot. It's almost 8. It's almost 8 teams, right? Or well, no, 4 teams. You figure it's offense and defense.
Yeah.
But that's a lot. It's going to hide somebody in 85. So maybe you should limit the scholarships too in football. Maybe football should only have 60, 68 or 70 scholarships, 72 or something like that. Figure that out.
We can only solve one dilemma.
Yeah,
one show. One dilemma for one show.
But if you
one dilemma.
I don't know where the camera's on. There's cameras on. I don't see. Oh, but no, it's on. There it is. It's up there. But one thing, one show at a time, we're gonna fix all these sports.
Yes.
One show at a time. So.
College basketball is still competitive. Anthony Davis goes on to say, but the recruitment has gotten a little wacky, especially when a player can leave and enter the transfer portal, and go anyway. It just gets a little tricky. The coaches either A, have to be more strategic with their recruiting, or B, if you don't have a lot of money for NIL, that kind of takes away from your school, your program, as far as being a top recruiter for some of these players. So now, that's the other thing too is, you look at like Kentucky versus other schools on paper, or at least to the common listener, to the common sports fan, if they hear Kentucky basketball, they're probably thinking like, oh, these dudes got deep pockets. They can pay anybody they want to. They can do this, do that. And again, I've learned, billionaires and millionaires don't get that way by just giving their money away.
Yeah.
So they're probably the most frugal people on the planet. But to go on to say that's not really how that works. Just because you're a huge school or a huge reputation of a school in a certain particular sports program doesn't mean you have deep pockets.
Yeah, I mean, and if you're taking money out for NIL and things like that, you're not getting facilities built.
That's right.
Right, because a lot of those donors, I mean, you figure the Craft Center and things like that over in Kentucky, those are monies that are are not going to NIL, and then vice versa. So,
upgrades, the stadiums, different things,
and those
parking,
are all things that have to happen.
Oh yeah.
And so that's and I think that's one of the deals with between Calipari and Mark Stoops was the fact that the university had started focusing more on football, and more money was going in that direction, and not as much was going towards basketball.
But football,
that's what caused that.
The football's the golden goose. I mean, in pretty much any school, even as big as Kentucky basketball is, I mean, you don't play as many games in college football. The coverage is just, as a conference, it's just humongous, and there's so much money in the SEC TV.
There absolutely is. There absolutely is. So we get our share from football is much bigger, but we, for years, Kentucky was basketball.
Oh, of course, absolutely.
And so you didn't have. I mean, occasionally you had Florida step up, or you had Arkansas step up when they came in the '90s. And now it's become a strong league, but most of that's because of the money that's available from football. Basketball is the number 2 moneymaker in college, and it always will be. It just always will be. Even in a basketball school, like you said, Kentucky makes more money from football, I believe, than basketball. It's close because of like apparel sales and things like that. You sell a lot of apparel for basketball, but you just don't have the, like you said, we're putting 22,000 in Rupp Arena every night for what
60,000 in Kroger
for about 14,000. Yeah, but they're putting, even though it's non-sellout, you're putting 60,000 in the seats. So it's and it sells out they don't sell out most games anymore right now, but it's 90%, 95%.
Yeah.
So as when we were going, and we're not renewing our tickets this year, but not because of the football, which is because of it's life. But we would love to have our tickets, keep our tickets. It's just it's just one of those things we couldn't do it this year. And so, but when we were going, I mean, it's like you saw a few thousand seats, empty, but most of the seats all the way up the bowl was.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, it's just 5 times almost, what you're going to get in Rupp Arena, even though it's
yeah. And I mean, tickets are, and you think about that when you're buying a ticket and you're buying season passes or tickets, there's the ticket. And then there's the arena price. There's the arena, the seat license that you pay for, and that all goes into the K Fund, which funds scholarships and everything at U of K.
Yep.
And we talked about last time that Kentucky has pulled itself out of, or Kentucky has separated its sports program into its own LLC. So now it's even going to be even different because now they can pull monies in without going through the university. And it becomes its own, even a bigger brand. They can actually build that brand that way.
They've got their own bank.
It helps. It's almost like you can print money, but yeah.
But like I said, if Anthony Davis, one of the most respected players, at least in this generation, in the 2000s for sure, that's walked through Kentucky, gave us our only championship in the 2000s. And was a player. I was looking at him today, man. He averaged 4.7 blocks per game.
Yeah.
I mean, dude was a freak, man.
Yeah.
And I think 14-10, I think is what he averaged. And I remember watching the Kansas game, and of course you do too. But I mean, I don't even know how many points.
The other day.
I don't know how many points he ended up with. 6. I don't think he scored in double figures.
No, I think his first points came off of a free throw.
I mean, it's nuts, but he was the most dominant player.
And I think he only made one. I think he only made one shot from the floor that day.
So you just watched it.
I didn't keep up with his stat though. But
No. But Thomas Robinson, I remember he was up for National Player of the Year along with Anthony Davis. But who was the other guy that played? I can never remember his name. I was hoping you'd remember. Another guy that played on Kansas' team. There was 2 of them. Thomas Robinson was the first one. He was number 0, I think, is what he wore.
Robinson.
Big dude. Yeah, but he wasn't.
Was that Thomas Robinson?
Or what did I say? Robinson Thomas?
No, you said Thomas Robinson.
Yeah, Thomas Robinson. That's right.
Is it Thomas Robinson?
I think so.
There's something like the name.
Johnny Trigger. I don't know. I didn't know.
But
there was 2 of them. It was like a 2-headed monster.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I remember.
I think he was a white boy, the other guy I'm thinking about.
No,
it's like a big guy.
Not that. I don't think that year.
Really?
I don't think so. I'm trying to remember. I mean, oh no, Withy.
Yes, that's
Withy.
it. Jeff Withy.
With Jeff, something Withy, but I can't remember if it's Jeff.
Jeff Withy.
That sounds right, man.
But okay, Withy. I do remember that.
Withy.
That's what I mean.
He's a big tall white guy.
Ain't nobody knows Withy. That's why I never remember the
Yeah.
real name. But anyway, Thomas Robinson. I can't remember
where that came from.
But I'm gonna tell you something.
It pulled it out.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you something though. That game, the point of it was, getting prepared for that little segment there was the fact that his stats. I mean, 14-10, but at average 5 blocks a game. I mean, you just don't see that stuff anymore. That is just incredible. And I remember the shot he blocked. What was it? North Carolina. Remember the jump shot?
Yeah, the one that.
I think it was going to win the game for North Carolina.
It could have won the game for
And
North Carolina. He
it.
blocked it about 15 feet off of the. I mean, he was
just
up. I mean, he
ridiculous.
was up. It was a jump shot. It wasn't like it was.
Oh, I know, yeah. And it was a midi. I mean, I don't think it was a
15,
3. If I remember, yeah.
No, it was a
15,
15, 16
yeah.
foot from the baseline. And
Ridiculous.
he got up. I mean, it was like.
And if I remember, that
he
was like an
fully
early
extended.
game. Or like a December game,
it,
maybe, or something.
Yeah, it was our North Carolina, because we were playing
yeah.
North Carolina home and home or something like that.
Okay.
So
So probably November, December. But I just remember we hadn't really ramped up yet. And I just remember him jumping out of the gym and blocking that shot. And I thought, this dude is a freak. He's not, it's just not normal, And he's carried that on to the NBA as well, but he, the injuries and everything else. But man, he was such a dynamic player for Kentucky, and just to hear him speak on his love for Kentucky, his love for the program, the energy that Mark Pope. He actually talked about how Mark Pope's reached out to a lot of the alum guys. He wants them involved. He wants them to come back and talk. DeMarcus Cousins has got a really good relationship with him. So I just think it's been re-energized, and I think just this past year was a testament to. Is Kentucky basketball back? Well, Kentucky fans are the most spoiled fans in the bunch. I've always been the first to say we want to cut down nets, we want to hang banners. So, was it up to our standards losing in the Sweet 16? No. But boy, I was glad to be back in there, after how many ever years, 5 years or whatever it had been since we'd been to the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
And not a first round exit or a first weekend exit for 7 years, whatever it was. 5 to 7 years. So, that I think we have gotten a guy that's rejuvenated the fan base and the basketball program.
He seems, John Calipari used to talk about the players first. And Mark Pope has figured out how to be players first.
And coach basketball.
And Kentucky first.
Yeah.
He's figured out how to make these two things work together so that one affects the other completely. And so I everything he's done so far has been spot on. I mean, he loves those kids.
Yeah, he loves the kids. That's
he
what I was
loves
about to say,
being
Mark.
at the University of Kentucky, and everybody feeds off of that.
The fans feed off of it. That's an energy.
And he can coach.
But like interviews after the game, it was always win or lose, Calipari. It was front and center. Calipari was on the pregame, the postgame, the halftime interview, everything. And it's all about, I've got some diapers, I've got some kids, I've got some freshmen. This kid makes a mistake, I yell at him, blah, blah, blah. Mark Pope's like, hey, get over here and talk to this guy. He was phenomenal tonight. I loved watching him play. I get on him in practice because he's, too passive. Tonight he took over. Like, I don't know, it's just like put the kids out in front.
Yeah.
This isn't about you, you know what I mean? And that's what I always wanted to say to Calipari, like, this isn't about you. And I don't feel like it started that way, but I definitely feel like it ended that way. That it was almost like it was like a pride thing when he didn't win. It was almost like, it wasn't his fault. It was, well, I told them to play this way and they didn't listen, or they blah, 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 blah. And I just feel like the fans.
Well, that's why we're always looking for
familiarity.
We're always looking for the
contentment,
tweak. Remember the tweak?
Yeah, the tweak.
Yeah. It's like, come on.
You had us tweaking back in.
It was Thomas Robinson. I looked it up.
Thomas Robinson, Thomas Sawyer Thomas.
Yeah,
Huck Finn. Thomas Sawyer? Now we gotta look it up. That's Thomas Sawyer? Tom Sawyer.
It's Tom Sawyer.
It's Tom Sawyer, not Thomas. All right, moving on.
Well, he might have been Thomas. We just don't. In the book, he's not
Paint the
Thomas.
Fence.
Yeah.
The Karate Kid.
Yeah, Paint the Fence.
So it was Karate Kid and Huck Finn and...
No.
Okay.
Tom Sawyer did not paint the fence.
Oh, I don't know why. My ADD is like on fire today.
He did not paint the fence.
No, he got
everybody else. He tricked everybody else into painting.
While he ate an apple or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay. Charles Dickens. R.I.P. Anyway, listen. My ADD's going haywire tonight. But I gotta say. Oh, is it? Because I think I just lost my train of thought. Oh no, My Cousin Vinny. Have you seen the baby AI videos?
Oh, dude, I love them.
It has taken the funniest things that I've ever thought were funny and just multiplied them by a million. I have literally
Have
cried.
you seen the one for the?
Have you seen the My Cousin Vinny baby videos? Listen, do yourself a favor. The Joe Pesci baby and the judge.
I saw it.
The judge. They did. I saw the one today where it was. What's his name? Tom Pendleton or Andy Pendleton? The guy that stutters. The guy that he hires as his lawyer first, and he's like, ladies and gentlemen, Jerry, Jerry. But anyway, they had that one today, and he's spitting on the juror members, and all the babies out there in the jury box. Oh my gosh, it was just classic. But anyway,
I saw the Big Bang Theory one.
Oh yeah, it's hilarious. I saw that one. I saw Scarface. I mean, they've got Scarface face, the cocaine on the baby's face. I mean, I don't know why. It's just hilarious. I mean, it's just. But I listen to Theo Vaughn, and Theo Vaughn.
No, we did not say, but for the.
No, yeah,
we did not say that
cocaine.
Babies with cocaine on their face is not funny.
Yeah,
the babies redoing these movies is
That's
funny.
right. And if there's any babies listening with cocaine on your face, get help.
Yes.
1-800 get help. Anyway, but listen, the Theo Vaughn. You know Theo Vaughn. So Theo Vaughn, they've got the baby videos of him as
Yeah.
well, and they're just going back and forth. I mean, they did the Donald Trump interview with Theo Vaughn, so you got Trump baby and Theo Vaughn.
I saw that.
Treat yourself and go watch these.
Yeah,
That's
and I mean, I don't know who's doing those, but
Oh,
yeah,
my gosh.
they are the funniest thing I've seen in a long time.
I've seen The Sopranos. I've seen Goodfellas. It's just it's funny putting babies in those situations. It's just hilarious. But anyway, moving on. So segueing from one NBA player to the NBA playoffs, and we'll wrap it up here. But OKC punches their
Speaking of
trip.
Kentucky players, in
Yeah,
the NBA,
SGA. Trust me. We're going to talk to Carl Towns. He's trying to keep the Knicks alive. But OKC punches their ticket to their first NBA Finals trip since 2012, dominating the Timberwolves in Game 5. SGA continued his dominance, 38 points, almost at a triple-double. But Case and Wallace is on that team, so there's 2 Kentucky players there. But Chet? What's Chet Holmgren?
Chet Holmgren.
Hey man, balling.
Yeah.
That guy's grown up. Remember when he came out, there was kind of that
He was
stutter
so
step
thin,
a little bit.
he was thin, he's, you know,
trying to get his
he's
foot in and
figured it
stuff.
out now.
And OKC, hats off to them. They've made some trades that were head scratchers before, but they turned them around. And any GM, the general manager job. Speaking of which, I remember playing Madden, and when they come out with the GM mode where you could do owner mode as well, and you could be setting the price of the hot dogs and the parking and all that stuff. Dude, I would do that for 15 minutes and just say, I just want to play football and turn it off and start my season over. So there's a lot to it. So when you make those
I don't buy
trades,
that for hot dog prices.
that's right. Yeah. I don't buy it for hot dog prices. But I also nowadays don't buy it to play real football. I mean, my gosh, you got to have a degree in offensive lineman to run the ball. But anyway, I just see the way that the GM for OKC, I mean, think about this. Just in that 2012 team, you've got Kevin Durant, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, all on the same team. Adam Stevenson. I mean, you've got guys, or Adam Stevenson. I got dyslexic tonight, or dyslexia. Steven Adams on that team. I mean, big guys. And they had one more guy that I just lost his name, but he was kind of a foreign-born player. He used to give LeBron fits. But anyway, he was on that team. They've traded all those pieces away eventually. Of course, KD left for Golden State. Russell Westbrook left for Houston. James Harden left for Houston. So you've got all of these guys that leave that team, and they are just stacking picks. And when you see these NBA trades all the time, like in 2012, it'll say the Lakers trade the Rockets a 2019 pick. And you're like, well, what the flip are we going to do with that 7 years from now? You're going to draft SGA.
Yeah, that's right.
The last big trade that they made for Russell Westbrook, that actually was a piece to that puzzle to get SGA. So it's amazing what the GM's been able to flip over, turn around, get Chet Holmgren, SGA, and there's one more that they drafted as well. But all from different picks from where they've gotten them 5 and 6 years ago.
It kind of reminds you of when Dallas got built after the Herschel Walker trade.
That's right, yeah.
Same thing.
One player, 7 picks, I think it was, 8 picks.
Something like
But
that.
Aikman and
that
Emmett and
entire
Michael
team was
Irvin and
basically
offensive
built
linemen,
off of that.
Absolutely, yeah. You're spot on.
So
OKC again since 2012. I mean, dominated. And I've seen a lot of hate for Anthony Edwards. I saw he was a superhero in the Avengers that said "can't man," because they were calling him Ant-Man. Can't man. I'm telling you, as a LeBron James defender, man, you'll never live down the losses. But Anthony Edwards is a young player, 23, 24 years old. That dude has got a huge future ahead of him.
Yeah.
And he's a nasty. I mean, anybody that's compared to Michael Jordan, you've got game, and he's definitely one of those.
And
that's
I'm not,
got
and
tenacity,
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen enough from him to say that he's going to make that step.
Yeah, sure,
but he's got every skill to make that step.
Yeah.
So, but it comes down to the mentality to get there,
and
he puts in the work, keeps being injury free. But even Jordan didn't go injury free.
No.
That's right. His knee and had
longevity
surgery. So
all that stuff.
But after that, really, Jordan didn't have any problems after that.
Yeah,
He took care of his body after that and made sure that he was always in shape. He learned from all those things. Same thing that happened with Anthony Edwards. He can do the exact same thing. But he's got to get going.
Yeah, I remember that in the Last Dance video documentary, which I love, by the way. I think that was one of the things that got me through the pandemic. But anyway, that You know, he said he didn't even lift weights. You know, like
Yeah.
Jordan wasn't even a weightlifter. You know, he didn't do that stuff. And then he just got tired of getting knocked on his butt by the Pistons, and he was
Yeah.
like, I got to put on some weight. And I think he went from like 202 to 215 in 1 year. And 13 pounds of muscle, that's a lot of muscle.
It was.
now.
I mean, because he trimmed down fat,
Yeah.
added muscle.
Yeah.
So he probably had even more muscle than the 13 pounds.
Yeah.
But it's,
But they showed different, you know, you see it
it's
in
a
the
difference.
documentary.
It's a
Big
totally different
difference.
guy.
Yeah, so, but Anthony Edwards is going to be just fine, I think. But SGA continues just to be a monster. I mean, I wouldn't even say come out of nowhere because he's been building this for the last couple of years, but this year he's just been on fire. You know, he's getting a lot of hate because Jokic just had another phenomenal year. Really, this dude could have had 5 MVPs already. For some reason, I don't think they like giving this MVP out a lot to the same player. I could go on a rant about that too, because LeBron probably should have more than 4. But Jokic didn't win it, but the dude averaged a triple-double. Never happened. Anytime that's ever happened in the league, they won the MVP. Oscar Robertson and Russell Westbrook. But anyway, SGA.
But also comes into effect, how you've lifted. They also try to take into effect not just
SGA
the
beat
points
Jokic head to head.
Yeah,
you know,
and so that's the thing, and so I think that they take all that into account, and how much you've lifted up your team to get there. So I think those things go into it. It's probably why LeBron doesn't always get, it wasn't always getting it, but it's just a matter of there's different things other than just the numbers, but because if it was just numbers, there's a lot of people who probably should have had it over the years. But,
that's true too.
Knicks
Pacers, Knicks Pacers, they're headed to Game 6. Karl Towns led the way in Game 5, scoring 28 points. He had 12 rebounds. He almost had a triple-double. I think 7 assists. I didn't have it down here, but Tyrese Halliburton, he scored 8 points, 2 for 7 shooting.
Yeah,
he had 2 rebounds, 2 steals, and 6 assists.
Well, it looked like the Madison Square Garden fans got to them a little bit.
I think so. I really believe that. I think that they were rattled. I not only rattled. I'm gonna say
rattle
this.
might not be the right
rattle,
word. But
rattle's not the right word.
It's in the realm of that, right?
I think you always hear about like reading your own press clippings.
Yeah.
I think they were already kind of crowning them like they're gonna punch their ticket, and it's really hard to win on the road in that environment. And when you've got nothing to lose and everything to lose, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The person with everything to lose can probably get back in the corner and fight like, crazy. You don't back
It's still going to be tough for them to win 2 more.
I think the Pacers are going to win.
I think the Pacers are going to win. They're going back to Indiana.
Yeah, they play tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night, and I think that they'll win that. I think they'll win there. They may not. I mean, this is turning out to be a very good. A very good Eastern Finals.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's even the games that the Knicks have lost have not been huge.
Look how lopsided the OKC series was. That series was lopsided.
Yeah,
you've got a back and forth going on here in the Pacers.
And so at least the Knicks are in it. They have a chance. But their backs are against the wall. They have to produce. So.
And Karl Towns again, a huge game from him in Game 5. Tyrese Halliburton 2 for 7, but the entire team, or the entire starting lineup. Listen to this, Mark. The entire starting lineup combined to score just 37 points all game long. So they had 94 points. I think was what they ended up with. I'm not quite sure on that, but we're just gonna throw it out there. 94 points.
So it's 50.
I think it's pretty close.
That
might actually be what the Wolves scored against them.
So that's 57 points off the bench.
Isn't that crazy? And you're talking about Tyrese Halliburton, who we just talked about last week, like he's come out of nowhere. You talk about somebody that's come out of nowhere. Tyrese Halliburton's a good ball player, but my goodness, he's been an MVP type candidate in these playoffs. And he just didn't show up. He was just a no-show in Game 5. But Game 6, like you said, will be back in Indy. That's huge. What is it, Conseco Fieldhouse? Where do they play at? What's their...
Conseco. No, they're playing...
Is Conseco Fieldhouse even in Indy?
Fieldhouse? No.
What is that?
What is the name of it now? It is something Fieldhouse.
It's obviously not Conseco because you laughed at me on the air.
Conseco was like, Jose Canseco.
Well, no, I know that.
I know. I'm just saying.
I thought it was.
That's why I laughed.
I thought Jose and Ozzy built the stadium. No, I didn't really think that. But I thought it was called. Is it not Conseco Fieldhouse?
It may be.
Look it up, man.
I am.
Thomas Robinson. Here's my Thomas Robinson moment. I hope it's not something like Conseco.
Gamebridge.
What's Conseco?
It says Gamebridge. It's called the
No, I
Gamebridge
know.
Fieldhouse.
Google that. What's Conseco
Let's
Fieldhouse?
see if it's something. If that's what it used to be called or something. It used to be something else though about that. But I don't remember. Gamebridge Fieldhouse.
I don't even know what that is. What's Gamebridge?
It's whoever paid them the money.
No, I know
guess.
that, but I mean, who's that?
I don't know.
What a stupid sponsor.
I'm trying to say.
Unless you want to sponsor Kentucky Talk Sports, then we'll be all about Cambridge.
That's right.
Or Gamebridge. Or
Gamebridge.
Gamebridge.
Let me see. I put the glasses on,
Put
dude.
the glasses on.
Let's
Conseco
see.
Fieldhouse. I know it's a real thing. It has to
All
be.
right, so arena in Indianapolis, the Gamebridge Fieldhouse. I'm looking to see if there's former names. Yeah, it used to be Bankers Life Fieldhouse, and before that it was Conseco Fieldhouse.
There you go. When did it stop being Conseco, man?
2011.
Gosh, probably because Jose can't keep his steroid needle out of himself. They probably didn't want to be associated with that. But I don't know what Conseco is either.
I don't either.
It's probably like a watch.
It's a last. It's a Seiko.
Seiko. Oh yeah.
It's a Seiko knockoff.
That's what we had.
Seiko.
That's what we had growing up. Was Conseco. I used to eat Croco Crunch and wear Conseco watches. But anyway, the Pacers lead the series 3-2, Game 6 Saturday night.
Yeah.
The Knicks. Now, if they win this will be their first Finals appearance since 1999.
And the Garden will be.
Oh my gosh, Spike Lee. He might do like a docu-series about the championship, probably win an Oscar. They're going to be hype. And it was like, you see the Los Angeles Lakers games, Jack Nicholson, all these guys, Leonardo DiCaprio in the front row. I don't know if you saw it the other night in Madison Square Garden. I mean, that whole front row was like Brooke Shields and, just everybody was out there. It was crazy. I don't know why Brooke Shields is the other one coming to mind, but who's the guy from Wings? He was even out there. The actor from Wings? I mean, is that the A-list actors that I can pull out of this? Is the dude from Wings and Brooke Shields? I mean, whatever.
I'd say Spike Lee. So.
Yeah, I did say, but he said everything. Or all things. Did you see Tyrese Halliburton too? He reached over and grabbed his neck like the choke in Game 4. That rattled some cages.
I saw a replay of it.
And then he pointed at Spike Lee, but then Reggie Miller was on the TNT broadcast, and he pointed to Reggie Miller.
Yeah.
And he did the choke thing, and Reggie Miller did it back to him because that's what Reggie Miller did back in, I think it was like '98 or whatever, when he scored 9 points in 11 seconds, something like that.
Yep.
And he literally did the choke sign to Spike Lee. They was literally about to fight. And if you've ever seen a documentary called Miller Time, it was a 30 for 30.
Yeah,
Great documentary. He tells a great story about Cheryl Miller, his sister. His dad used to not watch them play basketball because he didn't want to pick favorites. He didn't want them to think that, I'm missing Reggie's game to go see Cheryl's. But he picks Cheryl up, and then they go pick Reggie up. And Reggie gets in the back seat, and Reggie's dad's like, "Hey, Reggie, how'd it go?" He's like, "Oh, Dad, I had a great night. I scored 35 points. I hit 4 threes, blah, blah, blah." And he's like, "Cheryl, how'd you do?" She's like, "I scored 105 points." Which was a NCAA record or a high school record for women for a long time. It actually just got broke. I just saw that the other day. But anyway, 105 points, and she's like, "Little brother, stay back there in the back seat."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's insane. I scored 35. Oh yeah, and Reggie was all swagger, like 35 points.
They took me out in like 10 minutes.
It's crazy. But anyway, Nick's last finals appearance was against the Spurs, 1999, and then the Pacers trip was the 2000 against the Lakers.
Now the Knicks have not won a finals, I think,
since 73.
Okay,
72.
Yeah.
Okay, 73. Yeah, the Knickerbockers.
Yeah,
that's
way
when they
back.
were.
When you say
they had the
70
long socks
in front of it.
Phil Jackson may have even played for them.
I think he did.
Yeah,
I think he was.
Like Walt Frazier and all those guys. Isn't that his name? Am I not picking names right? Every time I say a name, you give me this face.
Because
like
there was somebody
Walt
else on that.
Disney?
There was somebody else. No. No, Walt Frazier's right. There's somebody else I was trying to think about that was on that team, I think, but I can't remember.
I don't know, but yeah.
But it was definitely, I'm pretty sure
it was Walt Frazier.
I'm pretty sure Phil Jackson.
It wasn't Julius Erving because he was like a Sixer or something.
He was a Sixer. Yeah, that was that was a little bit later in the 70s as well, I think. So.
I was about to say 90s. I'm like, my gosh.
No, well
Dr. J was.
He only played into the 80s, so.
Damn it.
Yeah, so
But
it
yeah.
was a.
But a cool coincidence is that the Knicks played the Spurs, the Pacers played the Lakers. Both of them played those teams during dynasty runs. So in the 90s, after Jordan retired, the Spurs kind of started to make their mark. If you
That's
remember,
right.
David
Yep.
Robinson, Tim Duncan was
Yep.
drafted out of Wake Forest.
Yeah,
And,
everybody thought it was going to be. Everybody thought it was going to be the Jazz.
That's right.
And
yeah.
but then David Robinson and company.
And Greg
you know,
Popovich, we
Yeah.
haven't got to talk about that, but Greg Popovich, I mean, great career, had a massive stroke. I think he's doing better, but he's stepped away from basketball.
Yeah.
As far as coaching, I think he does have a front office job or some type of consultant job for the Spurs. But you could tell, man, you talk about a coach that's loved. Ginobili,
Everybody loved
Tony
that guy.
Parker, Tim Duncan. I mean,
That's why
emotional.
he was one of the reasons. He was one of the reasons that they were able to keep that team together. For
Oh,
so long
absolutely, yeah.
Without having to pay huge paychecks.
That's right. And, you know, Kawhi Leonard, I remember when Kawhi Leonard, after the finals against the Heat, he won the MVP and, you know, kind of started to get stature and stuff, and he kind of copped an attitude.
Yeah.
Remember, it started sitting down a lot,
Yeah.
and then it became, was he really hurt? Which we know now. I mean, since he's been traded to the Clippers, he don't play there either. But Popovich was like, there's no star above this team, and a lot of people blame Popovich for letting him go. But I think it was the right move, even though they took kind of a step back a little bit. I thought it was the right move. But anyway, Knicks Pacers, they both played. Knicks played the Spurs at the start of their run, and the Pacers played the Lakers at the start of their run. Of course, Shaq and Kobe reel off 3 straight from 2000 to 2003. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Again, rattle off that phone number, bro. What's the
It's
phone number?
270-980-9670. Lots of nines in there, but
Yeah.
you know, man. Next time we'll get some
That's
callers
right. Give us a
in.
call.
If we get some calls, and we'd love to hear from you all out there in the fan land.
That's right. Good night. Have a good weekend.
Good night, everybody.